So if there was a theme for this particular video, I would submit to you that it's don't let things that you can't control you. With that being said, we're going to dig through some hate mail. Here's the first one. Pogo is a pogo. If you're not infantry, you're not a grunt. Yada yada yada. I'm unsubscribing. Don't be offended. See you later. Like, adios, amigo. Appreciate you, muchacha. Ha, muchacha. Yeah, I mean, crap is what it is. I did appreciate one of the dudes who left a response to this one, and it was basically that he had spent time in a variety of MOSs, but the one that he really discovered that he had the most appreciation for are cooks. And man, I can tell you, cooks work some hellacious time. On relating to my chest rig, bro, that mismatched camo on your chest makes you an easy target. So I would dare say that no, it does not make you an easy target. Does it stand out a little bit more when you're 2 feet away? Yes, but try it 100 meters. Like, one could argue that having multiple camo patterns is actually more effective. Riggs is just trying to get it ball. I don't normally respond to older videos comments, but this one had me chuckling. Said he rarely leaves comments, but that he's met the 3 above mentioned that were in this video, and is just another critic who only criticizes. So the thing that I really drew away from this one is not only did somebody not understand the video, but more than that, it's we oftentimes will take a minute portion of an encounter with somebody and turn around and judge them. And I'm sure that none of us appreciate that, but I think we should be even more cognizant that if we're doing that while complaining that others are doing it, like, it just kind of makes us a hypocrite. So something to be learned from there. I'll go read the Bible if you stop using your pastor voice on us. Now, truth be told, I am a man of faith, and here on the channel anyways, and actually throughout the vast majority of my life, I try to communicate my values, my beliefs, my virtues, my ethics in a way that people can not turn away from so easy due to a variety of preconceptions. If you want to see a little bit of some of how I approach faith, I'll leave a card up here and you can go check that out. Hands down, one of my favorite videos that I've ever done. Do not have exact coordinates. Like most ex-military people, you're not very knowledgeable as you have no real field experience. So I had to chuckle at this one in the same way that I chuckled at somebody who told me that I should go get a real job, because it reminded me of John Glenn. Not that I am comparable to the legendary John Glenn, but of course, if you didn't know, when he was running for the state Senate in Ohio, he was running up against Howard Metzebaugh, who was a career politician who looked at John Glenn in front of everybody during a debate and said the same thing to him: you've never held a real job. Now, if you served in the military, if you know somebody who has served in the military, you know that just how repulsive of a comment something like this is. And so John absolutely let go and said, I have held a job. Right? Not just a simple 9-to-5 job where my only duty and responsibility was to take the check to the bank and have it cashed or deposited. I've flown in more wartime missions than you can shake a stick at. I've been shot at, and I've buried sons and daughters, and I've met Gold Widow, and I've met Gold Star mothers and families. Come with me to Arlington National Cemetery on Memorial Day, he said. And you look at those people in the eye and you tell them that they have never held a job. Get the guy out of here. I can't even read this whole thing. I just want to call your attention to the really the last sentence. You know, as he rambles on through, the last thing that he says is keyboard warrior. Like he's accusing me of essentially being a keyboard warrior while being a keyboard warrior. Right on, right on. Racism be like, as it related to my flask, which by the way, I happen to have. And if you didn't know, every single time that you like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, my flask gets filled with the tears of a commie. Oh, man, it tastes so good. But Ham, your statement reminds me of a quote from one of the best movies of all time.
He didn't fall? Inconceivable. You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Nice skill video. If all the people who are going in the woods cut and scrape bark so deep, soon the forest will no longer be able to provide shelter. Of course, if you actually watch that video, I didn't cut bark very deep. And it's only a small section to demonstrate how something can be done. But I feel you. Man, it's probably somebody who lives, probably a neighbor line up here. Kind of similar to a previous comment relating to my commentator shed in 2022. 60 years too late, my friend. McCarthyism is over. Had quite a bit of response from a lot of folks there. America hasn't won a war since World War II. You're a pawn. This is another one, right? Like, it was too easy for this one and the go get a real job kind of comment that kind of set me off. But, you know, and again, it's easy, right, team, to let things that you can't control you. I can't control how people respond to the channel, whether it resonates with them, doesn't resonate with them. Of course, man, I'm telling you, the vast majority of all comments on every single video are healthy. They're respected. And sometimes I get some constructive criticism, and that's great because I can put that in my kit bag and learn from it as I continue to move forward to try to master my own craft of what we're doing here on the channel. I believe that this community is just that. It's a community. And so many of you have a lot more experience and a lot more skilled than I am. And there's a lot more people out there that are both creating content on YouTube as well as just who would never touch YouTube to save their lives. And they are absolutely freaking on point. But, you know, in the case of a comment like this, like I said, it's easy to let things like this get under your skin and crawl you and ridicule you and demean you and make you question things. But if you're facing comments like this, I'm telling you, team, you have to be able to look past it and really and truly discover where your value comes from. I had absolutely no idea about this comment. Better have your voter registration or copy your 214. I'm assuming he means DD 214. Without the proof, you're probably going to have a bad day. No idea. You talk too much stupid crap. You know, it's funny because sometimes I get criticized for talking too much, and sometimes I get criticized for not talking enough. So, whatever. And here we go, right? This is the exact opposite side of talking too much. It's boring. Got anything original? To my 20s survival tips, which of course at the end included a demonstration for how to actually do resection, right? To discover your location when it's unknown using 2 known features that you can identify on the map that are out in the world around you. I thought it was pretty good. Team, just a few comments. I actually don't get a lot, and sometimes I see them and I'll save them like I do in the screenshot and kind of stuff, and in other times I just forget about it. And it's not that any of these things really get under my skin, but I do believe that these types of comments can help us, if we allow them to, give us a better vantage and viewpoint or understanding of humanity as a whole. And so when we talk about tactical virtue here on the channel, that's one of the prime pieces, is understanding humans. What makes us click? And how can we apply things like the first principle of leadership, which is to know yourself and seek self-improvement? How can we apply these things to ourselves in order to become the best version of who we can be, who we say we want to be, and have the awareness of when we fall short? And again, it's too easy to look out around us and draw value in things that we cannot control. It could be a negative thing, right? We do that a lot. But we also do it with the positive things. If you allow a relationship with somebody to bring value and meaning to your life, and it defines who you are, and that is the end state, right? There's certainly something amazing, like with Mrs. Stoker and mine relationship, man. We've been rocking together for 26 years, almost 26 years. And so that there's a lot of foundation there. But ultimately, if we're not right with ourselves and with that which is bigger than ourselves, we can never be right together. Does that make sense? And so if I'm looking at a surface level relationship with somebody, and they're defining, right, I can never be happy if I'm not in a relationship. I can never be happy if I'm not having, great sex or going out and having a good time partying and getting drunk or doing drugs or whatever. These are all superficial things that ultimately can never give you the happiness that you really want. Same thing with the negative things, man. It's too easy to let these things come into our ears, eat down in our hearts, and redefine who we are. Hey, bud. Team, I hope you enjoyed the content of this one. If you did, if something resonated with you, if something applied to you, or if you think I was 50 shades wrong, leave some comments down below so we can continue to keep this conversation rolling. As always, until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. And notice, I've never told anybody what's in my flask. Only that it's the tears of a commie. It could be freaking tea for all that you know. Quit judging me. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.